Good morning again. I'm gonna go ahead and try to redo this video because I already had a friend call me today and he said the video may not have conveyed the message I was trying to convey regarding the Harris County Republican Party chair race. So I want to make sure there's no confusion there because I think the point was not concise enough. And so I'm not used to filming. I've got a Dr. Pepper resting against my phone. Hopefully there's still a shadow even though it's a little bit brighter out. It's just not something I'm used to doing. But I wanted to talk about the race for HCRP chairman, which I believe we have Don Hooper, Cindy Siegel, who's currently the incumbent, and then we have, I think it's Michelle Bouchard, who's also running. But I just wanted to talk for a minute about Don Hooper and why I do not think he should be leading the third largest party in the third largest county party in the nation. Keep in mind, this is a party that was also George H.W. Bush, before he was elected president, was chairman of the party. And I think, with the endorsement from Attorney General Paxton to Don Hooper, I just wanted to make some comments in regards to that. I know, I believe I have pulled up a document from 2020 that I had sent to Mr. Hooper it was a cease and desist letter, and it was asking him to stop in this Harris County Executive Committee group with some of the things that he was saying. But I want to talk about a little bit of the history of where we were at the time and why I think he's completely unhinged. And it's my opinion. I'm not being asked to do this. You can check the Texas Ethics Commission, the Federal Election Commission, in terms of contributions and expenditures of what I've put into the party, what I've gotten out of from candidates and from working. I truly am an activist. I've done some consulting work. I've managed campaigns. I've coordinated campaigns. I've volunteered on campaigns. But I do it because I care and because I'm trying to support, at least at the time, what I thought was true conservative values. And when I was 16, I started driving to libertarian meetings. I started with Texas Tea Party Republican women in that faction of the party. And so I was very involved in the conservative movement. So that's some back story for those who don't know who I am in terms of some of the activist work that I've done. But one of the things that Don Hooper at the time was accusing me of when I was 22 was that I was running a money laundering operation for the Harris County Republican Party. And he also said a number of things about people, and this is where it got confusing in the last video. He likes to call everyone racist, but it's not because he actually believes it. He likes to use it in a way that's somewhat confusing. He's accusing people of racism, but he's defending it. In my opinion, that's the way he operates. And as far as his wife, Rachel Palmer Hooper, goes, same kind of tactics there. He said some horrible things about Gary Polland, wanting to string him up. He said some things about congressmen, they're going to pay mightily for treason. They'll face a world of hurt. And these are quotes from some of the posts that he had put into the group. He told precinct chairs to shut the fuck up and resign. And, he had things to say about State Rep Sam Harless, State Rep Tom Oliverson, James Murphy, Senator Ted Cruz, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. And he even went after Michael Berry. And he had a whole broad range of allegations of some of the things that he has said, but he also was accusing me of some sort of conspiracy and money laundering operation, alluded to an investigation by a former special crimes prosecutor, white collar, and stated that the investigation was necessary to figure out if folks needed to be charged with crimes. And um, he said those who are guilty will be found. He has excellent investigators. He was very defensive of Mr. Keith Nielsen at the time, who, when he was first elected during the entire George Floyd situation, Mr. Nielsen, as party chair-elect, posted, it was like a banana um, on a MLK graphic that he made. It was so damaging in terms of messaging that it actually made news overseas. Even some outlets like BBC, I believe, were discussing just how embarrassing it was. And when I and others called it out, Mr. Hooper was very frustrated and was very much wanting Mr. Nielsen to stay. And at the time, he accused me of running this pretty serious money laundering operation, and that I had some type of coup with Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Dan Crenshaw, which was absolutely ridiculous. And he also invited precinct chairs to join the HCRP Financial Oversight Committee to do an independent third-party audit that he wanted to see over the past 5 years in regards to any kind of fraud that there might be. But, Mr. Hooper made a lot of comments about a lot of people, and they were completely false allegations there. But that's the kind of guy Don Hooper is, and his wife's history as assistant DA and her work with Baker Hostetler. I'm not. People can do their own research and homework into it and draw their own conclusions. These are just my opinions. And I also have images where he, I think, mentioned me in over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 comments within 10 minutes with all of these insane, unhinged comments. And the last thing I think, if the HCRP wants to be successful, is to have someone that conducts themselves with that kind of messaging. I think it's very hurtful to the party. I also have to say that I find that venues such as Glorious Way Church that have from the pulpit on Sunday mornings told people how to vote in primaries, Republican primaries. I think that crosses a line between tax-exempt status for a church. I don't think that's the direction the party needs to continue going in. And I think Mr. Hooper would only make that be worse. So I'm glad my friend called me this morning and wanted me to clarify that comment to make sure that I wasn't defending it. I was unclear as to whether or not I was defending Mr. Nielsen. That was not the case whatsoever, and so I'm glad I made that clarification, as well as I think my sarcasm as to what a wonderful person his wife Rachel Hooper is. I think that sarcasm might, from people who don't know me or my thoughts, might not understand. So the last thing I wanted would be in any way to help him versus say, to anyone paying attention. I don't think this is a person that should be leading the third largest county Republican Party whatsoever. And I also find it shameful that Attorney General Paxton got behind him. And I think as much effort as he has spent focusing on things such as age verification for porn and putting 10 commandments in classrooms when teachers already have an entire workload with TEKS and enforcing those TEKS for students. I find that to be just quite rich when he's a known serial philanderer, and that's the kind of support that Don Hooper is garnering. If that's the direction he wants to go, then good for him. It's certainly not a direction I think will be beneficial to the county, and I just hope people are paying attention and do their own homework. And if anyone wants to reach out privately, text, email, call, I'm certainly available to talk to. I imagine I might get some views, but I probably will have a lot more people that reach out to me privately versus expressing their public opinion or thoughts, because I think what I'm saying is relevant and something that is also completely understated. But I think with what's going on, it needs to be said. So I'm glad I'm saying it, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks.